Welcome back everybody, Automotive Inc. Today we're in the garage and we're doing some general maintenance on a 2015 Kia Sorento. I apologize for the background noise, but it's only about 10 degrees in here and the concrete is very cold. So this is going to be a simple DIY type thing that anybody can do at their house. You just need a handful of things. You can save yourself a lot of money in the long run. You can also, by doing it yourself, confirm that you've put your oil in and everything like that. Before we get started, please smash the subscribe button, thumbs up, and notification bell. And head over to the channel and check out all the other cool stuff we've done on a ton of other vehicles, including this one. Now, that being said, again, simple tools that you can get off Amazon. I will link everything down below, including your filter. You can use whatever filter you need and everything like that. So first things first, this car doesn't have a lot of ground clearance. So if you want to make some wood ramps or get some of these composite ramps like I got, or steel ramps, that'll definitely assist in getting underneath there to get to this, because most of us don't have a lift. So first things first, get yourself an oil pan. So this oil pan is big enough for diesels. It holds up to 18 quarts. You're going to need at least something that holds at least 8 to 10 quarts, because this bad boy holds 7.02 quarts of 5W30. And then you get underneath the car, and there is no shroud that covers this area. That is your oil bolt. It is a 17 millimeter. So I would suggest that you let the engine cool down a little bit, because the stuff will come out like lava. But you also want to warm it up if it's been cold all night for about 5 minutes to get that done. So we're going to take that bolt out and get this oil draining. Now I would give that about 15 minutes or more, depending on how much is coming out. There's always going to be a little bit of like residual, dripping, whatever. Now this is on the 3.3 V6, but the procedure is going to be very similar for the 2.4, and it's also going to be very similar for the Hyundai sister car from this generation or era. But I believe that the 13 through 17s were this body style, this type of displacement, so you should be good. Even if you don't have a 15, you should be able to follow this very similar. Now while that's draining, let's get underneath the hood, because the oil filter is a cartridge. So we're going to come in here. We got this cover on here. We're going to pop this bad boy off and set it aside. It is a straight lift up type cover. We're going to get underneath here, and here is your oil filter. And this is, I think this is what this is telling us, is this is your torque specs on it. You'll want to get it tight, but it is a composite thing, so don't over tighten it, because it is screwing into metal. So we're going to go get a socket and get this bad boy off. Now this is a 27 millimeter, or you can use an 1/16. It's going to be counterclockwise to remove it. Alright, so once you get it off, guys, you can kind of take a look in your cap. This is a good time to see if you see anything funky in there, like some frothy, milky looking stuff and or metal shavings. Don't see anything there, so now we can just take this and set it aside. Now your new kit may come with a new O-ring, it may not, but if it does come with a new O-ring, make sure you replace it. Alright, you're just going to lift it straight up. You may have to wiggle a little bit, because that smaller little nipple sticking out right there is going to clip in. This is the Fram that I'm using, the 10855. It comes in 3 different levels. It's an inexpensive OE equivalent filter, and this one anyway wasn't made by Kia or Hyundai, so they were using that. Inside the packet we have a new crush O-ring for your oil pan drain plug, and we have our new rubber gasket for the cap here. Now, no need to do anything like saturate this with oil, but it is always good to lay it side by side, make sure everything lines up, everything is uniform before we put it back in. Alright, from here, guys, we went ahead and changed out the O-ring. I would encourage you not to use any type of metal tools to peel the old one off. I'd use your fingernails, or use some type of like vinyl or plastic body panel pulling tool if you need help getting that off, because these are plastic threads. We don't want to mar them, and we don't want to damage where that O-ring sits. Now you'll just stretch the new one over, so that is good there. Now we're going to come over here, take our new filter. The lower O-ring is already in place. We're going to come over here to our hole, and we're going to stick it down, and we're going to find where the little piece clips in, and we're going to get it snapped in. Now we'll take a little bit of down pressure for you to get it latched in there, and then we're going to take the cap And we're going to get seated on there. And if you don't get it right and it's not turning easy, guys, you probably have it cross-threaded. So just make sure. Now there is a little metal ring in here that's going to push through that paper or fiber element there at the top. So we can see that we're getting it already tightened in here. And it's going to be a little firmer going in the knot because it's going down through that center hole. So now we're going to just get this bad boy tightened. All right, so we got our cap back on, guys. We're going to leave the top cover off because we always want to check for leaks. And what I mean by that is once we make sure the oil's done draining, we're going to put that plug back in the oil pan, and then we're going to fill it with our oil. Obviously, we're on a slant, but what you'll do is you'll pull your dipstick out, clean it off, stick it back in, make sure there's no residual oil. And then what we'll do is we'll put 6 of the 7 quarts back in it. And then we'll fire it up and get it off of the ramps itself, shut it off, let it sit for a few minutes, check the oil again, top it off with up to our 7 quarts, because again, depending if you're doing it on ramps or level or whatever, you always want to try and do it on a level surface. There's a good chance that there is some residual oil still in there. So we don't want to overfill it. Overfilling it is bad. So again, I'll usually put up to 1 quart less than what it requires. Once we get it level and we've ran it, let everything work through the system, it fills up the new filter cartridge and everything, then we'll top it off. But the reason why we're leaving that cover off is so that way we can make sure, one, that the oil pan plug is not leaking there. We got that tight enough, but not over tight. Don't use an impact gun on it or an electric ratchet, and make sure our filter housing is also not leaking. Now, I'll tell you that my favorite oils are either Pennzoil or Valvoline. These are both very inexpensive. Do a full synthetic, not a synthetic blend if it's available. You'll be able to do this for about $30. And I like to do my oil changes about every 3,000 to 4,000 miles on a gas engine, 5,000 on a diesel. So just make sure that the API standards meet your required vehicle. So don't put anything that does it. Now you might see some on here and not see your numbers, but it says it meets and exceeds every other API standard prior to that. So as long as it meets that, then you're golden there. Make sure you have the proper weight, 530. And if you do buy it in the bulk container with 5 quarts, it's going to definitely pay off to buy it in the bulk container versus not. So you can see right here that we have our 5 US quarts in this one, and we have a couple smaller ones to top it off, get to that 7 mark. When you get underneath there, just make sure that it's basically dripping, or it's the finest little stream you could ever have. But if there's a stream, I like to wait till it's dripping. You're gonna put that plug back in, just get it tight, don't over tighten it, and then you're going to fill up your oil, pull it off of the jacks or ramps, get it level, and then check it again. And then over a few days, just make sure you pay attention where you park, make sure that you don't see any drips underneath it. And that'll pretty much assure that you did the job right. Everything's looking good, not too tight, but tight enough to not leak. And then just make sure you write down your mileage, especially if you're under warranty, so that way you can prove that you changed your own oil. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.